The time is now 11 o'clock.
BEFM Sunday's Kids News.
For this week's headline,
Busan Museum operates the third round of on a party day in 1691.
Busan selects 6 old public facilities for Hope with Hug project.
Welcome to September's 3rd edition of BEFM Sunday's Kids News. I am Kim Tae-eun.
And I am Jung Ji-lee.
The Busan Metropolitan Government said it will run an education program, Museum Yomichomi, on a party day in 1691 for infant groups such as kindergartens and daycare centers, which are difficult to visit due to coronavirus. Museum Yomichomi is a children's organization program representing the Busan Museum and is a customized education that can be easily learned through the museum's collection of relics and Korean historical culture through narrated fairy tales. Infant groups wishing to participate in the program can apply through the Busan Museum's website from 10 a.m. on September 7 and will be closed on a first-come, first-served basis. Up to 200 link cards will be provided per group. The museum will end its Museum Yomichomi program this year after its third operation.
The city of Busan said it will select 6 old public facilities to promote the Hope with Hug project. This project, which is being promoted for the 6th year under a 3-party agreement between the city of Busan, the Busan Architecture Organizing Committee, and the Housing and Urban Guarantee Corporation, aims to restore the function of old public facilities through talent donations by local architects. The first project target this year is the Sarangbit Community Children's Center. After a month of remodeling work, the completion ceremony will be held today.
It's time for In My Opinion. Welcome to the studio. Today is September 15th, 2021, and this is Sunday's Kids News. I'm your host, Christine Oh. I'm with our kids announcers for the month of September, Kim Tae-eun and Jung Ji. Hello, guys. It's nice to see you in the studio. Now, Chuseok is right around the corner. What image comes up in your mind when you hear the word Chuseok? Tae-eun?
The first coming image of Chuseok is my family members making songpyeon while wearing hanbok. Actually, my grandmother runs a rice cake business, so making songpyeon the day before Chuseok is a very familiar image to me. I also remember when my grandmother's store was extremely busy on Chuseok.
Well, it sounds like Chuseok is the perfect time to have some songpyeon, and business is probably booming this time around, right? And Ji, what about you?
Chuseok makes me think about my family. Every year at Chuseok, I went to my grandparents' house to meet my relatives, like my aunt, uncles, and my cousins. I usually play with my cousins, and we always have fun. I also ate songpyeon and lots of delicious food. But because of COVID-19, I didn't see them for many years. I really miss them so much.
Yes, it's been a while since we got to reconnect with our family. And, all of this talk about songpyeon is making me a little bit hungry. Now, there are a lot of wonderful things about Chuseok. And if you could introduce Chuseok to a foreigner, what would you explain? Tae-eun?
Well, I would explain that it is a big harvest festival and is a usually long holiday in Korea. You can compare it to Americans' Thanksgiving Day. We celebrate this on the 15th day of the August of the lunar calendar on the full moon. It is a traditional day where people make food and bow to their ancestors, and then they share the food.
Yes, there's a lot of great feasting happening in Chuseok time. And Ji, how about you?
I'll explain that Chuseok is very famous in Korea. I think it's the biggest holiday too. This is on September 21st this year. We celebrate this from September 20th to September 22nd. We wear hanbok and eat songpyeon. And there are many traditional games such as yunori. Yunori is a game in which the first person to reach the destination wins. You can move as much as 도, 개, 걸, 윷, and 모 that come out of throwing 윷. And on Chuseok, there are ancestral rites. We call this a 차례.
Wow, Ji, I think those are some great descriptions of some things that happen during the Chuseok holiday. Now, what did you usually do yourself during the Chuseok holidays, and what do you want to do during this year's Chuseok? Tin?
On the morning of Chuseok, my family members would gather to do memorial ceremony called 차례 in honor of our ancestors. It's actually fun to me because when I was young, it was fun for me to watch adults bow and kneel down to the food. But I know how great this ceremony is now. I learned Kanggang Sule, one of the traditional Chuseok game at school, and I want to try it with my family in grandmother's backyard. I want to make a big circle with many people. There are many things to be limited because of the pandemic.
Yes, unfortunately, we still do have to keep a distance during this time, but I hope you do enjoy your Chuseok turn. And Ji, how about you?
Like I said, I go to grandparents' house and play with my cousins. I usually watch TV because my parents don't let me watch TV at home. When I watch TV, I eat songpyeon and yukjeon. Yukjeon is a Korean pancake made of beef. And it's so delicious. At this year's Chuseok, I want to do this again. But because of COVID-19, I don't think that is possible. Let's hope for next year.
Yes, I think we do have to sacrifice a lot this Chuseok, but hopefully next year we will have a better one. And I hope you do get to spend some quality time with the family around you this year. Now, thank you for your comments. I appreciate you taking the time to share your opinion with us. Let's move on to our next segment. Now it's time for
Guess what?
Yes, we are back with Guess What? Let me briefly explain how it works. There is a selected keyword which only the announcers know, and they will each explain some hints of a selected keyword. The announcers will be taking turns to give hints. Are you ready, guys?
Yes!
All right, well, let's start from T.
This is one of the Korean traditional foods.
Ooh, a traditional food. I think it might be related to Chuseok. Okay. Toon, go ahead.
This is a food which we eat mainly on Chuseok.
Right, so I think I am onto something there. Okay, G, what's your second hint?
During Chuseok, there is a tradition of making this yourself.
Ooh, so you make this yourself, or you can during Chuseok. All right. Toon, give us your next hint.
There is an old saying that if you make this pretty, you will have a pretty baby.
Fascinating. Okay, I think that is a great hint, and I think I know what we're talking about already. Okay, GE, what's your next hint?
Usually the color of this is white, but it can be pink or green and lots of other colors. I saw a yellow one too.
Oh, all sorts of colors. You know, this is making me very hungry. Toon, what's your hint?
The so in it means the ingredients that goes inside this. This keyword is basically a kind of rice cake made from beans, pat, sesame, and dokdu.
I see. And T, what's your hint?
We add this during ancestral rites.
So something we do see on those ancestral tables during the Chuseok holiday. Taeun, what's your hint?
Its shape is usually half-moon shaped.
And T?
We eat this with pine needles. Eating them together is very good for your health.
Right, and steaming them with the pine needles, it gives a very fragrant aroma. And Taeun, what's your hint?
It looks like a delicious dumpling, and how you make it is similar to making delicious dumplings.
Ooh, now I'm very hungry, guys. So I think the keyword for today is 송편.
Yeah, the keyword was 송편.
All right, well, T, what made you think that 송편 should be the keyword today?
Because 송편 is representative foods of Chuseok, and Chuseok is coming soon. When I think of Chuseok food, I first think of 송편. When I was in kindergarten, I once made 송편 in kindergarten. It was very fun. Many people must have made 송편 like me, because that is the tradition of Chuseok.
That's right. It is a great tradition and one thing that I'm looking forward to this year as well. And Taeun, how about you?
I also think it's because Chuseok is coming very soon. Chuseok means autumn night in the bright moonlight. The grains are ripe and the fruits are ripe. So it is said that people made a moon-shaped rice cake and ate it to mean, thank you for making the grain ripen well. When I eat a 송편 on this coming Chuseok, I'm gonna think that I'm eating a yummy moon like this. Yum yum. Then wouldn't it taste better?
I think it really would. And that's an excellent story again. Thank you for your comments today. It's time to wrap up our show. This has been September's third edition of Sunday's Kids News with Kids Newscasters
정지희,
Kim Taeun.
And this is your host, Christine Oh. Sunday's Kids News is produced by Elise Kim and written by Ijin Kang.
Goodbye.
Listeners, thanks for tuning in this morning, and this is your last song.
Here is High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. I don't know why, but whenever I listen to this song, it makes me feel excited. High Hope listeners, thank you, and see you next Sunday.
Mama said, don't give up. It's a little complicated. All tied up, no more love. And I'd hate to see you waiting. Had to have high hopes for a living. Shooting for the stars, but I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a time, but I always had a vision. Always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living. Didn't know how, but I always had a feeling. I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. Mama said, something for oddities, stranger cassettes. They never wanna be the winning the novelties that don't ever change. We wanted everything, wanted everything. Stay up on that rise, stay up on that rise, never come down. Oh, stay up on that rise, stay up on that rise, never come down. Mama said, don't give up. It's a little complicated, all tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. They say it's all been done, but they haven't seen the
our bridge to the world. BEFM 부산 영어 방송.
Chuseok is one of the biggest and most important holidays here in Korea. Chuseok is traditionally a time to lift one's head towards the largest full moon of the autumn sky and pray for a bountiful harvest. More metaphorically, it's a time to wish for good fortune, good health, and success in the coming year. It's a time to partake of the ripening harvest. Time to catch up with family living far and near, a moment to remember those who have passed on as well. I do hope that this Chuseok is an enjoyable